Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to my mess. No, you can't tell actually. You really can't because the mess is actually off to the right of me. Although, yeah, I'm looking at the screen and I'm seeing the left of me, but yeah, it's off to the right of me. I have quite a bit of a mess going on. Because I've had bags of lenses out and just equipment everywhere, just doing all kinds of crazy stuff this week. So, how are you? Let me say hi to all of you. Hi, Lalo. Hi, Wendy. Going backwards here. Hi, Angelica. Stephen Quesada 2607. Hi. Oh boy. I think I can't do it that way. Okay, I thought I was just going to try to. That makes no sense. I'm trying to scroll up and it's scrolling down faster than I can scroll, which is funny. Hi, Todd. Hi, Alfonso. Jabor91 on YouTube. Yay. YouTube working. It's all working, except I know that Facebook is acting funky. I think the algorithms are acting up with me, man. Hi, Alfonso. I said that already. I just realized. Hi, David. Hi, Lisa. Oh boy. Hi, Mai. How you doing? Miss Vargas in the house. It's all a mess. Yeah, at least the mess has a purpose. Does it though? I mean, that's something I'm going to discuss tonight in a way, because that's part of the it's actually part of the discussion, although it's not about making messes, because that's okay. That's okay. But eggs. Yikes. Is that what I said? Hi, Walter. No, I'm doing fine, actually. All things considered, I'm doing okay. It's just been a weird, busy, crazy week because obviously, you know, we voted this week, so I had to go vote. And, by the way, that was my first actual election that I voted in. Like, because what I voted on last year was a measure. That was my first voting on something that had to do with, like, a measure. It was for the redistricting and all that stuff. But this is the first election I ever voted in. So it's kind of cool. And I was going to show you, but well, I posted it anyway. I posted my little notebook with my little I voted thing on it. So yeah, you all should vote. That is one thing that we should do. Oh, tastes good today. Fake sweetener because it was like really sour earlier. So I'm getting ahead of it. So hi. So let's see. Where do I begin? Ah, shoot. So this week, um, I posted a couple of different things on my Patreon regarding like projects that I'm working on and like how it's all mixed up. And because this question comes up a lot, and I just wanted to address it here because I get asked this question all the time, which is, when are we going to see new stuff? When are we going to see new stuff? And I don't know what that means anymore, because I don't know if new stuff means something you haven't heard before, or something that's never been released, or things that you've heard on the stream but have not been released, or actual new things which haven't been released. Keywords there, haven't been released. So there's that thing, right? And yes, Lisa, you're 100% on that one. Regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, you cannot complain if you don't vote. So yes, so this week was hard because I had to vote and I had to do all this stuff, but I was trying to get a hold of all these projects that are up and coming that I've been, like shuffling, and there's a lot of them. And obviously the case took its time and it's doing its thing, and I have to wait for that too and be on top of it every day, and have to look for things that are up and coming in other cases that might be related to mine and things of that nature, which, not the most fun stuff, right? But yeah, so I had a bit of a in the last 2 days, I think. It just hit me like a wall. Like I think I hit a wall and I was discombobulated. It started off with I was trying to organize these projects and I made the fatal mistake. See, because, okay, I'm digressing like crazy already. Yeah, it's like, this is live, by the way. This is not pre recorded. And everyone's going, maybe it should be. Ah, man. So, where was I? So, yes, voting, all that stuff. Once I saw the projects all together on a list, which is what happened, is I posted it on Patreon and I posted a PDF that had all the different projects and why they were important to me. And there was probably, I don't know, maybe 15 things in there. When I saw them, my creative thing went into like this weird spiral. And so the last couple days, voting included in all that mess, literally threw me for a loop where I couldn't even concentrate on anything. Thankfully, the way that I set things up, so right? It's not Memorex. Or it could be. So, well, the way that I set things up is usually I have a notebook that's digital and I'll like, I'll put whatever the project is that's current and then it'll be like notes underneath and I kind of follow it that way. I've tried everything. I've got Kanban boards. I've tried them. I went back to my Kanban board. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's funny. And I don't know that it works for me. I feel like it doesn't actually work for me. I get more out of just having a notebook and just following along. But I did find some interesting uses for AI this week. I really did. And I'm going to share those with you if you're a creative. These are good things that you can do with AI that I actually really loved. And I'm going to get onto the subject of divergent thinking, which believe me, I am that all the way. So, how it helps you if you're a creative person or what it is, but you know, Todd, you'll have to send me like whatever software you're using for that cuz I don't know, Scrum, I think I used it before. I used scrumming before and I don't know that I was good at it. But I think what I'm doing with my notebook is similar to that. So we'll see what happens this week if I get back on track on everything. Although I have to say this right off the bat, I'm not off track. I'm just on so many tracks that sometimes it's difficult to keep up with all of them at once, like an overreaching thing. So that's a long-winded answer to the really simple question of when are we going to see new things? Well, new things happened already this last week because I just released another EP on Patreon. So if you're not following me there, you're not seeing everything that's coming out. And the next one will probably be on Bandcamp because that's a whole different release coming out. So so I'm going to play some stuff from various things of those projects, some of them. And you'll get to hear some stuff that's coming down the pike. Although, if you ask me for like explicit titles and all that, it's, oh, Jira, I remember. Yeah, I remember Jira. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that it works for me on like it would work if I had a team and everybody was working together, but it doesn't work for me. For whatever reason, that doesn't work. I've tried it. But I'm saying a real thing here. If I had a team that was working with me all the time and like one team was in charge of like I don't know, like one person was in charge of like my uh film life so I can be like, "Oh, you're working on this is the Living in Oblivion video is at this stage," while my audio assistant would be like, "Well, this is where you're at with the stems." Then I can see Scrum and all that stuff working really well because oh, that's nice. Because I think that would work. But since that's not in the cards right now, Well, I've got his manager going, "What's going on with you?" Which is not even not even close to that. But you know, it got real this week. But some good stuff happened, so that's good. We're not gonna we're not gonna like harp on that. So let's play a song. So one of the projects that I'm working on um, is a sort of um, strange rarities type things. Not exactly rarities too, because that's its own thing, and that's not even listed in my project list. I found out this week. But sort of like things that should have come out that didn't come out quite right, or were released on other labels, or other people put out instead of Abox putting them out. So some of those, I've been putting those together. So you'll hear some of that tonight. So this one is one of those. This is 300 hours, and this is the remaster, which sounds actually quite good. I've been listening to it, and I was like, it's coming out good. All right, so over visuals. Here you go. 300 hours. That's gonna be on an EP. I don't even think I even put that in the PDF, by the way, which is funny. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think it's on there. But yeah, it's an EP called Besides or B-sides. Although they're not all B-sides, there's some stuff in there that was single single stuff that didn't happen. So so I'm differentiating those kinds of things from like because I think someone asked me last week about like the old shareware stuff, and some of those are like demos and weird things, and it's not that that's a bad thing, but some of them were full on songs that should have been released, so I want to kind of differentiate the two. So besides is, I thought that was good. I think Mike came up with that one, which is funny, but thank you for that name, it works. But besides, yeah, so that one's going to be on there, and then I'm working on a host of other things. But this week, so I'm going to get right into the topic of the evening, which is when everything becomes interesting and then shit happens. That's the part I left out. So, um, been working on the Living in Oblivion video more than I've been working on the Living in Oblivion stems, which is funny. And that's because, let me get my notes. That's because I am practicing divergent thinking, or I shouldn't say I'm practicing it. I embody it. I just didn't know what the hell it was, but I was trying to figure out like if I was having a unfocused moment, like where everything is just like, like revolving around my head, and I can't like wrap myself around any project. But when I looked back over my notes this week, I realized a lot got done. It's just that a lot got done in little tiny bits for every single project. So overall, it's still all having to be done. So it just freaks me out, It does. It always has. Because I stopped doing things from beginning to end, and I don't know. I don't know where I went wrong with this, but anyway, so I guess the guy's name is J.P. Guilford, and he was one of the leading American exponents of, I'm reading it here, factor analysis and the assessment of creativity, which sounds really boring, but basically, creativity is characterized by the ability to generate multiple solutions or ideas which involve flexibility, originality, fluency, and elaboration. Sounds good. He described creativity as a kind of thinking that goes beyond conventional problem solving. Nice. Involving the capacity to transform and reinterpret information that can lead to unique and innovative solutions. So, yeah, that seems to be me. Well, without like giving myself like some sort of accolade here. It's me 100% in that I seem to be able to shift from like thinking about music releases to painting to designing new things for my camera bag. I actually did that. Sketching out ideas for shots, then working on like some sort of mastering skills for Living in Oblivion stems, then taking a break to go for a 2-hour ride to location hunt, which I literally did that this week. I forgot. And then stopping to look over the designs for a new t-shirt, and then do an hour's worth of sound design all in one day. But I wonder if this has negative impact on me as well. And burnout would be one. If it wasn't all like interesting, I would say that you could have a burnout problem. So if you're doing this, just realize it is a superpower. It really is. But it does come with some really bad stuff. Okay. So anyway, it is not like for the meek. So if you want to know what the difference, there's two types of thinking. Um, Divergent. Sorry, I think I lost the chat. Where's the chat? Ah, My says, I've been told I've been solution driven. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Um, all right, cool. So, so basically divergent thinking, which is me for sure, is generating many ideas without any judgment. So like a musician might spend hours freely experimenting, trying out weird synths and unconventional song structures and random field recordings, layered over beats. Whatever happens, happens. Like what happens if I combine classical music with techno for this track? Whether you're going to throw it out or release it, it's all about just exploration. Convergent thinking is not really that at all, but it doesn't mean artists don't do it. So I know, don't get bored yet. So the convergent part is narrowing down and refining towards the best outcome. And that's the part that I think I'm having a little issue with sometimes. So the musician will now evaluate which ideas actually serve this particular song. They'll edit the arrangement, choose the strongest hook, tighten up the mix, cut what doesn't fit, and shape everything into a cohesive, polished track. So it's like the focus part, the selection of the craft. So I am definitely 90% divergent and 10% convergent. So yeah, without a team, that's very difficult because who's going to keep me in line? I mean, like, I might be like, oh, shiny thing, and then run towards it. So a lot of that did happen this week, but I did find one solution. So, um, you know, but make no mistake, it is a superpower to have. And if you're creative and you have it, thank the lucky stars. You don't have I can't even say it. ADHD. You're not hyper. That's not what it is at all. You're not like having some sort of hyperactivity disorder. It's nothing like that, although some creatives probably have that anyway, but it's not that because you're actually, I didn't take a sip twice now. It's because you're not actually not getting things done because you are working on things. It's just that you tend to work on many things at once and you can be easily unfocused from certain things. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, I'll talk about the upside of it before we start getting onto the negative side of it. And I hope this isn't boring you, but I'm going somewhere with all of it. But I did find, like I said, a really good use for AI this week. And I am stoked to share it because I think it is a good thing. It's one of the good things. Oh my God, there's a good thing. Although, wait, maybe not. Maybe it's using what I'm doing, which I haven't told you yet, but maybe it's using my method to like totally mind F me and make it so I'm not creative. I have to think about that. All right, let's play a song. I can't remember if I played this last week or not. So if I did, I'm sorry. But I don't know what I played last week. I can't remember. Yikes. Soul on Fire, the dub. The dub mix. I don't think I did. I think I played something else. Ha! I almost missed that cue. I almost missed it. Ah. So, yeah, Todd said context switching can be problematic over time. And that is exactly where I think I ran into a wall, is because the context of different things that I was working on started to, I don't know, I don't know that converge is the right word, but they started to overlap in a way that I started to lose, like, wait, like what am I doing? Like what am I doing here? So, I'll give you an example. I was working on I told you how I went and did some location scouting, which I did, and it was a lot of fun. And by the way, yes, I know I'm going to show you something. If you haven't seen it, um, I posted about that on my Patreon. Yes, my Patreon. And I posted about that Locale A, um, which I don't remember if I made this one a freebie or not. I think I did. Yeah, this one's a freebie. So you guys can read this. So if you're on Patreon, you can see how I went to go to this military base that's near my place, and I did some location scouting and some photographing and that kind of thing. So why am I telling you this? I'm going somewhere with it. So the reason I did this was because I wanted to test some lenses out for the Living in Oblivion video. I thought it was a good way to get myself out of the house after recording vocals for a very different song. So what happened though is that while I was out there, I still had the vocals in my head that I had just done. And so as I was trying to imagine scenes for the Living in Oblivion video, the song's lyrics from the song I was working on were starting to invade my thoughts. And it was like, wait, no, no, no. There's no scene with that. There's no scene for this. So it's like, no, like not another video. I'm not supposed to be thinking about another video right now. Like put it out of your head, put it out of your head, like trying to get it out of my space. Because if I don't stop that from happening, then now I'm working on two video scripts. And truth be told, I actually did come home and write a second script, a second script. So, but I started to like, okay, police myself there. I was like, okay, you cannot go down that rabbit hole right now because this song is just a B-side and we don't even know if we're going to finish this song, much less work on a video for it. So you need to go back to this other thing and just focus. And so, of course, that's when I was starting to feel like that weirdness of like, oh my God, I'm like, it's slipping, I'm slipping. So it was a bit weird. So, but anyway, at least I figured that part out. And then I came home. And then after that, I think, like I said, the wall hit and it was like everything was falling. So, again, this is another thing that happened. Um, I had released an EP on Patreon, which was the first official diary album on tape. And nothing wrong with that. I loved prepping it. I loved getting the artwork together. Everything was cool, but it reminded me, dude, you haven't done the page 1 reissue and it's just like sitting on Bandcamp and in like a 70%, and you haven't decided whether you're going to do a book for it or not. You haven't decided whether you are going to redo all the artwork or what part of the artwork is done. So I had to like go back and look at an official release that I hadn't worked on. And I think that got a little depressing, but at least I caught it. And then that's when I decided I think I better like figure out what's going on with me up here so that I'm like better focused. And I started to take the journal more seriously, and I reopened my Kanban, and sure enough, the project was there like from freaking January on some stuff. So yeah, back on track, but there are many tracks. So bear with me when I tell you like there's that's this coming and there's this coming. It's not that I'm not really slow. It's just there's a lot and it's hard to keep up with all of it. So that's been one of the aspects of it, I think, for me. But anyway, we're out of time already? No, we're not. I have 2 minutes. So Here's the upside though. The upside is that the research on task switching and creativity shows a fascinating twist that in 20 I'm looking for my notes here. There it is. A key 2017 study found that continual alternation between creative tasks actually boosts can't say that word. Uh boosts both divergent thinking, general ideas, and convergent thinking compared to working on one task for a long stretch of time and then switching. So that's a good thing because I feel like that is what's happening with me at least. I switch throughout the day, and by doing that, all of them get to another level, which is a good thing. I hope it's a good thing. I know some of you are like project management types, so tell me if I'm doing it right. So, but it reduces, I guess, cognitive fixation, the mental rut where you keep going in circles over the same thing, which, of course, if you're working on art, for example, or design for an album cover and it's not working, um, I learned the hard way that to sit there and try to like be frustrated looking at the screen or the piece of paper or the canvas or whatever the heck it is, right? If you look at it for too long and you're not getting the diminishing returns, it actually feels like you should go into a completely different domain and then like, all right, since I can't seem to get to this spot, why don't I save, write the last good idea that I had about this particular thing and move on to something like let's play some synths for a couple hours and do some sound design because I'm still doing sound design for some new stuff. So let's work on that. And then boom, you're in that mode. Now, if nothing's happening, meaning that no matter what you switch to, nothing's happening, then we're probably running into burnout. And that's you're just tired and you need to just take a break all around. A good break does help. For me, a good break is like either getting in the car and going for a short drive, which I actually have not been doing that enough, or walk, and I haven't done that either. So that's all actually like I'm starting to like understand. For example, and I'm just telling you this because I love you people. When I was contemplating the stream today, I was like, I might not do it. I might not do it because I haven't thought about the theme all week. I barely made notes and I'm like, "Oh man, like I could put it off." And then it's like, "No, cuz people are relying on me for whatever reason. And I'm like, "Besides, even if I didn't post it on Facebook, my GF was very kind to say this to me, that even if the algos aren't favoring me because I didn't post the flyer, she goes, there's people that are going to tune in and you owe it to them to do it. So I was like, you're right. You are so right. And now that I'm here, it's as if my brain is focusing on all of those projects going, yeah, you have to do this. You have to do this. You have to do this. So you guys are good for me. Thank you. You help me out. You help me out more than you know and more than I give you credit. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Todd says, as long as it is within some limits. So would you say those are limits of time? Or by setting like, I don't know that goals is the right word. Deadlines is an interesting word, but it doesn't always work with things like albums. But, it can, but not always. But anyway, let me play you a song. So this one that I'm going to play you, let me go overhead here for a second. Yes, yes, subscribe, hit the bell and all that weird stuff I'm supposed to say because I'm a YouTuber. Hit the bell, subscribe. Yes, 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 subscribe because YouTube likes it when I say subscribe. And like the video. Yes, yes, yes. um this one is from a EP that I'm working on called Elsewhere. And Elsewhere, it's a pun basically of all the covers. So all the covers that Abox has done, that one I'm prepping as a release too. And this one's coming along quite well. You'd think they'd all be ready, but I'm actually trying to master them so that it sounds like a full album, like a proper album. And there are two songs that still need to be recorded. So if you guys guess what songs those are, I will. I don't know. I'll send you something. I don't know. If you guys can guess which two songs are still being recorded for this one. But yeah, Elsewhere. And this is one of the songs on Elsewhere. This is Machine Gun.
I saw a savior come my way. I thought I'd see it in the cold light of day. And now I realize that I'm only for me. If only I could see
Oh, it's back. Funny. I actually thought that the mic was off. So I don't know if it was on the entire time or if I just unconsciously unmuted it. But it works. So yeah, that was Machine Gun, uh, which is coming along just fine. And then, so yeah, I have to like get all those songs in there. You might hear another one tonight that I have from that record. So that one's gonna be funny because there's a lot more that I didn't know existed that they're just odd. You know, they're just odd things. So the one I wish we had done, but I digress. The one I wish we'd done was yesterday because that was really cool, but there is no recording of that. Who knows? Maybe I'll take the video and mess with it. I don't know. But yeah, so getting back to, sorry. Start it. Okay. So the other thing, you know, like is that if you are very divergent, realize that you're in cahoots with people like Leonardo da Vinci, that type, you know, very unstructured, right? So every shift does though carry with it a reorientation tax, which is exactly what happened to me. So those are the potential. That's one of the potential side effects is what is known as the reorientation tax, because and that's exactly what happened to me, where fatigue set in and all that stuff. And then the other thing is the depth versus breadth, meaning that you might do all this cool stuff, but you're not the master of any singular domain, right? So I mean, I get that one. I don't always agree with that one because I think you can be a very good sound designer and also be a very good mixer and also be a very good at photography. So I don't think that you need to be an expert at all of them. You need to be able to do, and this is just advice, free advice for those of you that are, like might be like, but I like everything. That's the whole point. If you're creative, you're going to like all that stuff, and there's nothing in the world wrong with doing all of it. As long as you understand, and this is a tough one, even for me, that you might not be good at all of them and that there might be some that you shouldn't do. Although, you know, you could say, screw it, I don't care what people say and just do your own thing. That's fine. That's totally okay. As long as you've got the armor to sustain that, right? Like if someone said to me, like, I think it would kind of hurt me a little, but not that much. If someone said to me, you know, all the Anything Box albums would be great if you hadn't done all the covers. I'd be like, ouch. But at the same time, it's like, it's your opinion. But I like the work that I put into them, you know. So, or the opposite, you know, like all the Abox albums would be much better if someone else had produced all of them. Well, maybe that's true, maybe. But would they be the same? And so, like, so you know, like, so those are questions you're going to ask yourself if you do this sort of like assessment of yourself. But you know when you got it. And by that, I mean, if you're proud of it and you're happy with it and it wasn't like a half-assed effort, like you put your whole world into it, I see no problem with that. I honestly don't. So the completion risk is the other one, right? The multi-potentialities generate more ideas than they finish. So you might end days feeling creatively stimulated, but you've got half-assed stuff that you've just added to the queue without a clear forward momentum on the stuff that's priorities. That was what almost happened when I came up with another video idea for a completely different song. And I thought, write it down, but it is not going into the project list because that is like, it needs to come up when 5 other things are released before we even think about that. So at least I had enough sense to stop myself there. And the last one, I think, is cumulative load. Because if you keep layering different things on top of each other, which is like, this is particular with me, the legal thing, right? Because I'm working on that case. And then health management, which yes, is a normal thing that everybody has to worry about, especially me now that I'm older. So obviously I'm managing my health. Business opportunities that come up, have to answer emails and all this other weird stuff. And suddenly I'm still having to design a cover for an album that has to be re-released. I'm still having to hunt down mixes or missing parts to a mix that I'm working on. I'm suddenly having to comp vocals for the last 6 songs that I just recorded. Yes, now there's 6 that I have vocals that I have to comp. So, yeah, chaotic multitasking can hurt you. So you probably, even though everything might feel interesting, which is the whole point of this discussion, is that while everything will feel interesting, you will eventually hit a wall and then nothing is interesting because you don't know where to go. So that's something that we have to think about so that we're not like, messing with the thing that makes us work, which is, the creativity, Without it, I die. So, but without releasing stuff, I also die. So I have to like figure out like how to do this, So anyway, it's been hard to juggle, but anyway, I'm trying. It's called I Want to Do Everything Itis, according to a friend of mine. That's funny. I like that. Did I say that? No. Wait, was that Claudio? Is that what it's? I don't know. Somebody said it that we know. I'm sure. Trank. T. This one's for you, Steve. Thank you. But everything is in a, everything in its right place. Obviously, like things will work the way they're supposed to work. And I am a believer that everything happens for a reason, which means that when something takes a little longer, I think there are unfound treasures to be found. And if I would have finished it earlier, those treasures don't show up. So I do keep in mind that things will come that are supposed to come. And in fact, that happened this week also. So that's a good thing. I learned a lot just by going to that one, forcing myself to get out of my zone and go location hunting for that day. I mean, I knew exactly where I was going to go, but it's just the putting myself into the position of like, okay, dude, get in the car. You're going to drive, get the camera, grab the lenses. You're going on a field trip. It's only going to be for an hour or two, but you're going to, and it wound up being a 3-hour thing. So that, and then I thought, it's also because you haven't rehearsed and you haven't had shows, so you're not rehearsing. So if you're not rehearsing, you're not really singing. And then I'm like, well, but I just did vocals. Yeah, but you're not comping them. That's me talking to myself, by the way. So I have really good conversations with myself, I must say. Although I don't answer back, at least not in the way you think. It just haunts me in my dreams later. So, so, right? So let's play a song. Or let's not play a song. Wait, do we have a song to play? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, did I mess up? Did I? So while I figure this out, I'm going to play this song by Eloquent. I'm going to play their version of Every Single Day and reorient myself because I think I messed something up. So I might have done something. We'll find out. Stay tuned. Watch this stuff. Visuals.
Don't you suffer, don't you worry anymore. Every single day, I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my soul. Every single day, I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my soul. I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my soul. I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my soul. Every single day, I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my soul. Every single day, I'll give you my heart, I'll give you my soul.
We are back. And so, yeah, Wendy was asking me if the tote bag merch goes over the shoulder. I just looked at it and it looks like it does. Let me see if I can, like, can I make it? Oh boy, did I just screw up? I did. Hold on. Ah, no. Oh, I had it and I screwed it up. Yikes. What did I do? Crazy. I don't know if this will work. I'll try. Let's see. Um, yeah, that's about as small as I can make it. But yeah, look, it goes over the shoulder. Yay. So yes, there's this design that I have um, that is gonna wind up on this, and I did it all for this. I figured I'd make it available to everyone, but it's all because of this. I'm gonna show you if I can show it. Come on, you can do it. Yay. I did it so that I could have it on this scarf. And let's see if it'll let me do this. It won't let me scroll. That's silly. It won't let me scroll up. But yeah, it's a giant scarf. And I'm going to use this for something completely different. But yes, that is actually part of the video and all that stuff. And since I have you here, I will show you the other shill stuff. So obviously, yes, I have a Bandcamp with all the weird releases, including the stuff you just heard and, all that stuff, which you probably all have. A Patreon, of course, which I just put the links to, and I've been putting freebies up there left and right. I put a song up there the other day that was free. I don't know if you guys heard it, but by the way, always leave me comments there because it just helps me out that people are reading. Because I'm like, oh, like no one's looking at it. My spring shop is still going, and I put something up there as well, like a summer shirt, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, so yes, and my Redbubble, but I put all the links there so you guys can have them and yada yada yada. Yes, I should. Okay. So anyway, back to work. Back to work we go. Oh, what am I doing? I can't even see oh, I was looking for the chat. Yeah, the art scarf. Yeah, I definitely, yeah, I added a lot of stuff because the design lent itself. So anyway, it's a bunch of stuff. And so, plenty of merch. I put the links in the chat. I'll post them again before the night's through and all that good stuff. So if you're just catching up, yes, people who have been asking me for merch, there is new merch, and there is merch also on Bandcamp. the Three Eye Atlas Abox shirt is still on Bandcamp. That's still there, as is, of course, the latest album with a book. Thank you for those that are supporting that. And then, like I said, there's new things coming to Bandcamp as well. There's at least 2 or 3 CDs coming to Bandcamp and a possible book in there. That's all the stuff I'm working on. But priorities are Living in Oblivion and its video, which are like that's the main thing I have to finish because I have to do something with Carmen and all that. Ah, I see what's happening. The flower is getting in my way. So, yeah. Anyway, I digress. Let's just drink something here. Spot of tea. So, I'll give you the advice that I was given. Because I did some research on this stuff. And I have, by the way, you know what? I'll give you the links to that too before we're through. I'll give you the links to the 2 articles I was reading about it because it was concerning to me because I thought maybe I'm like, oh, like, am I heading into like depression territory? And, I'm glad that I know it's not that, but it felt like that. So I was kind of worried. The last thing I need is to, fall into some sort of weird depression or something. So here's a way to lean into those strengths of having a divergent mind while mitigating the risk. So designate some days or blocks as divergent foraging. In other words, let all the shifts happen freely. Music, visuals, reading, sketching, whatever the heck you want to do it. But protect the other blocks, which is about 90 minutes to 2 hours of deep, we're working on one priority of focused things that have to be done for this particular project to be released. So that means that you're doing some of the gut-wrenching work that you're kind of putting off. If you set the time aside for each, you should be able to rhythmically alternate between the two within a session, and that might actually be able to help you. The other thing you can do is make traditional transitions into these. So, build little rituals in between, like 2 to 5 minutes, like a quick sketch of where you left off or what excited you about this. Take a short walk, stretch, change the lighting, go for a walk. That's going to be the big one for me. This reduces the attention residue and then makes switching easier. So like you could say like, oh, like I'm working on this cover art and it's driving me crazy. And it's like, find a good spot to save, take a nice walk, but also figure out what you might do if that doesn't work out when you come back from that walk. So when you come back, you look at it and you're like, of course that's what it was. You found the error, just like the error in code that Todd was talking about. Or if it still isn't fixed, it's like, well, I already said I was going to work on this. So now you just switch, have it already sitting up on the screen, if that's the case. So that's the other thing you can do to kind of like mitigate those situations. But I got to tell you, I did something cool with the AI that I actually liked, and I'm going to get into that subject as we go through the things that'll help you with the divergent thinking. Speaking of divergent thinking, like it occurred to me that even though I don't have an assistant, I do have AI. And I pay for these things because I use them for other things that I'm doing. So I may as well use these things for this kind of work. And so I plugged in every single project into the AI and basically started an entire project folder, a project management folder. And I explained, all I want you to do is to keep me on track or to be able to tell me where I last left off on everything. And I will keep you updated every day as to my progress. So at the end of the day, what I do is I will go into the project and I'll say, hey, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And it knows what project it belongs to, which is kind of funny. Like if I say I did vocals for, someone taking over me, but I have to comp them. So it was cool. It actually said, cool. So now you have 7 songs to comp. 2 are from this project, 2 are from this one, and blah, blah, blah. So that's where the comping is now. Are there any other songs that need to be recorded? I'm like, no. He goes, so now you know that all the comping is all situated here. So when you're ready, start checking those off. And as far as the other stuff, you also worked on location scouting. That's good because you had noted that that was one of the tasks. So you location scouted what exactly? I told him what it was, put it into the project so I can come back and say, where did I leave off with the video? And he'll tell me exactly where I left off. That, my friend, is the rad part about AI. I am actually liking that. I'm liking it for that. It really does work. Because it's conversational too, because I can divert in my thinking and say like, I had this idea for another video and it kind of threw me off, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, do you want me to add it to the project? I'm like, no. But if I bring it up, kind of get me out of that zone. So it kind of knows, it's starting to know more about these things, these projects. And I find that it's less stressful for me because I don't have to remember where I last left off. I can just come in and say, hey, what was the last thing I worked on in my myriad of projects? And it'll say, you did this, 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 and this week. Damn, okay. Now I know where to go. So to me, that is a really good use of AI. And I even found another use that is more on the creative side, which I know, like, coming from me, it's probably like sacrilege, but hear me out. I found another use for it that I actually really liked, and it was a game changer. So anyway, so try that. If all else fails, start a project with AI and to say, look, this is the project I'm working on, and this is all the stuff I did for it. I want you to kind of keep me focused. So every day I'm going to just tell you where I'm at. Or if I forget and I ask you where I'm at least you can tell me where I'm at. It actually works really well because let's face it, they're not your boss. So they're a little gentler on you. They're not your management. So they're a little gentler on you. So, and it wants to please you. So obviously it's going to like tell you what you want to hear. But at the same time, you can say, hey, bring me back when I get too far out there. Like bring me back, and it'll do it. So that's actually a really good use for it. So that plays into this last one of the last pieces of advice I was going to give you, which is, since your ideas may fly across many domains, have a frictionless capture ready, either a sketchbook or a real journal that you can sketch and write things in, or voice memos if you have to do that, because some people like to use their phones. That's fine. Whatever works. For me, I always carry a physical journal everywhere I go, and I don't transcribe it to the digital journal. I basically just take the best parts and I just go, this is what I worked on or what I journaled about today. And then this is where I'm at. And so that kind of stays in my journal. Obviously, I will forget if I haven't done this or haven't done that. So that's where the AI came in really handy, because at least it keeps me on this, especially for weird things. Like I just finished working on a project and I got 10 mixes of the song and it's sitting on a folder. And it's like, I also have 7 hard drives on this computer that I'm on, and I have 3 on my laptop. So obviously, and then you have, memory sticks and SDs. So obviously you want to be able to like find everything you're working on a month later. It seems like you won't forget because it seems like it's so important. You shouldn't forget, but believe me, you forget. So yeah, let's play a song. But yeah, it is a good use. Oh, FMR8927 on YouTube says, very interesting use of the chatbots. I haven't tried it yet that way yet. I am thinking about putting a 70s phone on a wall with VoIP so I can ignore the ringer. That's actually funny. I think that's actually pretty funny. Hmm. I might need to do that. I just turn the phone off. I know it's sacrilege, but I turn it off. If I don't want to get phone calls, I turn it off. It annoys me when it rings and I'm in a creative zone. So let's play a song. So this one is um this one is also from um Elsewhere. So this is another cover. So this was an interesting one because I dug this one out in 2020 because I had forgotten all about it. So this was during the pandemic. Well, it wasn't recorded during the pandemic. It just was pulled out of the archives during the pandemic. This is actually pretty weird. Half of this was recorded in my car, and then the rest of it was done by doing like collaging. So this one's called Summertime Transformer. So it's a Sam Cooke song, but totally messed up. Take a listen.
Summertime, and the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Your daddy's rich, and your mom is good looking. So hush, pretty baby, and don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. You'll spread your wings for to fly. Until that morning, there ain't nothing could harm you. Whoa, whoa. With mommy and daddy standing close by.
What the heck? I'll give you a second one. So, Need from Electrodelica when it gets reissued.
Under the spell of words, always there, trying to remind me of what and who I when it all comes crashing down. A loving face that tears away the frown. Somebody who needs to leave is all I need, and all I need plays on my soft machine like a child trying to remind me of what and who I am. Even though I've seen the heavens fall with the taint of every heart we tore in spite of the odds, my friend, it was all I needed.
So we are back. And back on the topic here. Oh gosh, what did I do? So yeah, the last thing we were talking about was capture systems. That's because I had notes. And I was telling you about the AI thing. Um, again, this is another thing that the AI can help you with because this is what I plugged in. So another one is a weekly creative audit. So once a week, quickly review what moved forward meaningfully, what felt like generative exploration versus scattered energy. You know, what cross-domain sparks actually paid off. And so by documenting these and giving it to the AI, this builds the awareness without killing the flow. And this is a good thing. This is a really good thing. So I totally recommend doing that. At least try it. If you're not good with things like Jira and, you know, I hate spreadsheets. I don't like doing any. I tried, believe me. Spreadsheets, I just think of tax time. So it never works for creativity with me. Kanban boards, I just tried it again and it was like, oh God, it looked so overwhelming. It looked more overwhelming. It's supposed to be simpler and yet it overwhelmed me. So it doesn't always work. So, and the other thing is you got to notice like how this stuff lands on your body and your nervous system. Sometimes the variety can prevent a burnout, but sometimes when you have a higher stress or health load, it can actually accumulate in fatigue. So you have to kind of adjust to that. Like, and you know, I tend to be more on the stress side because I stress about all sorts of things, right? Because I'm a creative 24/7. So I'm literally thinking about, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to do this? How am I going to release that? Oh my God, that's taking too long. Oh my God, this, so my head is pretty, I can be really stressed in my head. So taking time out to, like I said earlier, take a deep breath, take a nice walk, especially when things aren't going right. If everything's going right and you're in the flow, by all means, stay. That's when you shouldn't do it. So I think that sometimes my own fault is that I'll stop when I know I shouldn't, and then I don't stop when I should. So I'm gonna be more cognizant of that from now on, I think. So here's another thing I discovered that AI is really good at, that I really liked. So this is a creative thing, and this is something that I would never have thought was cool, but it worked. So I was taking these shots of my bathroom. Yes, my bathroom. It has a particular texture. And so I was like taking a few shots of it, and I was like trying to imagine, like, if I dress it up this way, or if I do this to this room, can I change it and turn it into something else? And so the whole idea was, I'm going to put it in Photoshop, make fake walls, and, like, figure out what I'm going to do with this scene that I'm working on. And so I was trying to figure this out, and then it just dawned on me, like, hey, could I feed it the photograph and then say, this is going to be lit this way, and I'm going to be using this lens, and I'm going to be using this time of day because I have a skylight. And I'm like, and I'm going to do all this stuff. And like, can you show me what this scene might look like? And I was really surprised at how insanely close it got to what was in my head. So what was cool about this is that the whole dressing up of the room was my entire idea. Like, I didn't say, give me ideas for dressing up the room. It was more like, there's a curtain here, it's going to be blurred. There's going to be a hallway here. This is going to look this way, and blah, 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 blah. Give me an idea of what this would look like. I have it in my head, but I want to see what it looks like before I do anything. And man, I got to tell you that the scenes were so well built out that I was able to just pop it into my script and say, so as you can see, the floor does work with that wall, and this prop does work better here on the left than on the right, and blah, blah, blah. Like, these things were in my head, but now I could see them as a sketch. It's really good for that. And it doesn't mess with your creativity, because if anything, what would have happened, at least in my case, I would have kept thinking about the stupid scene, and I would have been on Photoshop for like an extra 6 hours just to get an idea of what I was thinking, by having to like cut and paste my body into it, like all these different things. So this was a quick way to gauge, for lack of a better word, I guess you can call it a sketch, or, like a doodle, So it worked. So it's good for that kind of thing. And it was really good because I had another photo that I had taken, and I'm like, I took this with a 50 millimeter, but I didn't have my 10 millimeter with me. Give me an idea what the same scene would look like with a 10 millimeter lens. And it was like, wow. Like, so now I know, yeah, I'm definitely going to shoot with the 10 millimeter, because I can see where this is, how it looks. Of course, I can picture it in my head. And of course, I can take a ride back to the location and take a quick shot. But I had already come back, and I didn't have the lens with me. So getting a quick view, like a bird's eye view of where it's going, that was actually pretty cool. I actually really enjoyed that. So think about it for things of that nature, not to generate things for you, because I don't like to generate ideas from it. It tried, believe me, it wanted to be the collaborator. Do you want me to add this? Do you want me to add extra lighting here? And I'm like, no, 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 no. We're not collaborating. I just want you to do this. I just ask, just do what I ask. That's all. So, it is good for that. So it is like it is like you can actually kind of get that, you know. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wendy, you got it. We were talking about toys and the so for those of you that are following this thing, the chat diverges from the topic all the time. So we might be talking about something like really weird like UFOs and ghosts, or in this case, divergent thought and creativity. But in the chat, we're talking about Tonka toys and action figures. This is the way that this works, which is why I love it so much. By the way, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love it. So, Leonardo says I'm 41, but the summer it always takes me back to 96 or 2000, the first day of high school, and it was like always raining. Well, my first day of high school, when I remember that, it was like God, it was snowing or something because that was when I used to live on the, you know, oh, Jolly for dinner. I actually haven't had mine yet. I'm gonna have mine after this, um, because I didn't want to be burping while I'm talking. Truth be told, but yeah, you didn't need to hear that. I guess I'd cut that out, but I can't. So tea, that's what I'm drinking. I don't know what you're drinking, but by the way, yeah, bring your own drink next time, folks, and then we can do the cheers. But no, all funny stuff aside, but the whole point is don't beat yourself up because you may have divergent thoughts when you're doing creativity. It's common. It's not a rare thing at all. You don't have ADHD. It's not depression. You're just one of those people that are thinking about many different things at once. I actually admire some folks that like I know a lot of people in bands that do only music and they never touch the art part. They give that to somebody else. I couldn't do that. I'm not capable. But I admire that they can because they've told me I don't have the knack for it and I don't want to. So I leave that to someone else and I tell them what my vision is of whatever it is, but they execute it. I'm not that person. I can't do that because all of them they're like all intertwined in my head. So all of it goes together. Now I can work with teams. I've done that before because I mean, Peace was done that way and Sum of Worth was done that way too. But as far as like, yeah, I can't just let it go. So don't feel bad. It doesn't make you a control freak either. That doesn't mean that's what you are. If you are literally like I literally look, I have a synth right here next to me. Let's see. Prove it, Claude. Yes. The synths are next to me on this side. I don't have a camera on the other side, but it's never far. Believe me, this thing is never far away. And neither are these. Neither are my lenses. They're always close. And if I reach behind me, sketchbooks. So everything is always around me because sometimes I need like visual cues, like sometimes to get in the mood to sing a song or something, I'll like, put up sketches or something that are related to the art so that I kind of get in the mood. And vice versa. Sometimes I'll want to watch a movie that is like, I don't know, really visually stunning so that I get into my head the sounds that I'm going to make for whatever I'm working on. That's how I don't get influenced by other musicians, by the way. I prefer to watch a movie and just have the sound off and just have it on. And just by watching really amazingly shot scenes, especially old black and whites, man, I can write songs and make sounds for days just with that alone. So that's another That's why I don't think that you have to worry that you're, quote, a divergent thinker. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Oh my God. I know what you mean by that, Mai. I know what you mean. Mai says, sounds pretty cool though to be able to set up what you have in mind without actually having to go through the physical setting up. Yeah, as long as you're not lazy, right? So that's the whole point. So one of the things that had happened, so I let me get this last thought in and then I'll play some songs. So the other thing that I realized by doing this was it actually helped me with my storyboards because that's the word I was looking for before. Storyboarding. It helped me with my storyboarding because I had these really ugly, I'm talking ugly, like pencil sketches of like stick figures to get like an idea down. And it's like literally, it'll just say wide angle. There's a picture of a little man with with a microphone, and it's supposed to be me. You know what I mean? And then it's like on the side, like anyone who saw it would say, is that a mountain or an iceberg? Or like, what did you draw? And it's like, no, that's a curtain because I'm drawing quickly. So it's kind of cool to be able to see it as a shot because it helps me assess also budget. Like, I mean, this is a weird thing to talk about, but yeah, it helps me assess the budget. It's like, okay, if I build the wall here and here, how much is that going to cost me? And how am I going to do it? And so those kinds of things only occur later when you're actually starting work on the film that you realize I have to build this or I have to make this, and that becomes an issue. So that made me happy that I could see like, okay, you're actually thinking above board on this because this is easy to make. So this is going to be fine. And now that I've seen it, now I know that what I'm thinking about will work. So, not giving anything away, but it worked and all this stuff worked. So, obviously, yes, I am going to go shoot in 10 millimeter in this particular place. I'm not going to like say, generate me a 10 millimeter version of this. That I'm not going to do. Nothing's going to be done that way. Any footage that I have that's incidental, that might be AI. I mean, that's different, but I don't think I have any. I've tried really hard not to use anything that is, but there are bits and pieces that I think some people think it is, but it's just because of the nature of the stuff itself. But I digress. Let's play a song while I'm digressing. So just as I released the Diaries' first album on tape, there's a project that I'm working on that is for Patreon, which I'm hoping will be done by next month, which is an EP called Nameless that we thought we were going to record and we never got around to it. So all we have is the tapes. And so this is one of those. And this is the title track, actually, Nameless. And although this one, I think I wound up recording again, but I think this one would need vocals if I redid it. But the tapes will be released. And so, anyway, I'll play that next. Ooh, the drone cam's on. Nameless. Nameless. There's a shadow on my wall. Could have sworn it wasn't there before. As it dances through my eyes, I can see a row of trees. They grow so tall and full of leaves. They're older now, and it saddens me. Love them. 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 Love them
that they had, now they sleep and it's empty. Love the world.
Always liked Danya's voice on that one. Um, so yeah, so that's the other one that's gonna be on Patreon because he's got some interesting tracks actually. It just needs a little. I just need to like sit down with that tape and just work it. And then once I have that done, because I can go back to the era too, because I have sketches and stuff from that time period. So it's got its own art and stuff. So I think that one will be fine for that. Fine. It will be good for Patreon. And, you know, the other stuff that's coming is going on the Bandcamp side. But so it's like juggling the two. Because obviously Bandcamp is a sustainer. So I kind of have to kind of, you know, work that too. But this one I think will be cool to finish. So it's in my queue. It's in one of those things that I'm doing. And while I'm at it, I will play something else, and I think I'll just play everything else that's left because I think how much time do I have left? Yeah, so we have just enough time for some music. So, because I think you got the gist. You're okay. You're okay if you're divergent. And if you don't even know what that means, it's like, it's okay if you have thoughts in your head all the time about creative things and you're always juggling. Do, at the very least, get a free Claude account, Claude.ai account, and tell them to help you out. Like, just formulate, you know, to get yourself more adjusted to your focus and keep them updated. I swear it works. He's good for code too. But yeah, like I said, and if you want to use it for some creative stuff, I just gave you some creative stuff you can use it for without giving away your creativity. Because I'm going to tell you something interesting about this that occurred to me. I wonder if we're going to start hearing that humans are so divergent thinking that we need machines to kind of keep us in line creatively. That's the kind of stuff that keeps me up at night. So I don't want you to think that because you think this way, it's a bad thing. It's a great thing because they can't do what we do. They can't do it at all. They might be able to get into 500 aspects of a project, but you know what they can't do? They cannot assess as to why it's so important, why this thrills you in a certain way. They pretend, but they don't have it. They don't have that. So we can use them to augment our creativity, but they themselves can't really be creative. Everything they get from us. So don't give away the best stuff by just prompting, like, you know, like art, because that's not what I was talking about at all. You can do things like, just like I said, you know, map out scenes, like change the location of something, you know, like you took a photograph of yourself in Times Square and now you're thinking of visiting some, I don't know, some pyramid. You can say, take this shot, put me in the pyramids. I want to see what that shot looks like before I book a flight, you know. those are the things that it can do really well and, quote, keep me focused by reminding me of things I have to do. But yeah, they should never, yeah, Maya, you got it. They should never replace the process experience, because that part is the most fun. That is what makes everything interesting. That's why everything is interesting to me. I'm not kidding. Everything is interesting to me. This flower, this mic, that synth, that beautiful camera, my different hats, like the little robots I built. All this stuff is interesting to me. And that helps me make stuff that I hope will always be interesting to others. I can't say that they'll accept it. Can't even say that they'll like it. But man, Anyway, let's play a song. So this one, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one, to be honest with you. I think I might just put this out, add this to the separate CD on Bandcamp, which is, here, I'll just show it to you, because you might as well know. Because this one has its own little weirdness going on. Yeah, I pulled it up real quick, so I just want to show you. So, separate, which is on CD, by the way, is the Diaries' second album, technically third now, because now everything's discombobulated because I released the first, right? Way to go, Claude. So it has many more tracks now than it had on CD. So the download has more. But I'm going to add this song in because it's what it is. It's an old mix of one of the songs, but this mix is pretty cool because I could hear the synths more. So this one actually sounds more electronic than the version that's on the actual album. It's almost exactly the same mix, except that all the levels of the different parts are just, for lack of a better word, mixed differently. So certain things stick out more. So I really like this mix. So it's called a 32104. So I guess that means it was March 21st of 2004. So it's probably an earlier mix of the song. So anyway, I'm going to play that next, and then I'll come back and we'll chat some more.
Useless second thoughts cloud my mind. I will show you thanks so you won't bite. Faithless on the tip, I don't care about the way the world moves on and on and on. You just take a rest and I won't mind. You give me fever and it makes me blind. I won't spend another dime on what you sell to me. Give myself away from time to time. I had some friends that I called mine, but you will never
Dead air, as I was about to say. Yeah, dead air. Sorry. Wait. Ah, I messed up. It happens. You know what's funny? I guess, well, it doesn't matter. I'm all over the place anyway, and we're listening to music and just hanging out. That's the end of the tea. You know what's funny? I just realized. So the other day, I was looking for this. Like, I have like this blue rose, right? This like blue little rose, blue rose. And I'm like looking for it and I couldn't find it, right? And I just looked up and I just realized I found it. It's up there. It's actually on top of it's on the roof cam. Why the heck did I put it up there? That's funny. It's totally in the wrong place. That's hilarious. I found it. Yay! Which is funny because I needed it for the shoot, and I was like, "Where is that thing?" I swear to God, I was going through like some box. I'm like, I know it was here. The red ones are here, the purple ones are there, but the blue one is up there for whatever reason, which where nobody can really see it. Seriously, like, hold on. Ah, where is it? Like, tell me, can you hear? Can you even see this? Seriously. Oh, there, you could see it. That little blobbity blob at the, like, I can't even point to it. There. There it is. It's all the way up there. It's like almost touching the ceiling. That's funny. Hi, ceiling cam. Ay, ay, ay. Such is my life. So I guess I should play the last one. Because there's only 2 songs left and there's 5 minutes. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you the twofer. So the last 2 songs before I let you go and say, sorry that I didn't put the flyer up on Monday. So you probably didn't know that I had a stream going on tonight, which is why not many people tuned in and it's all my fault. However, that said, this has been 0605 2026 and we discussed when everything seems interesting and then shite happens. So I'm going to play those 2 songs back to back and tell the cat I said hi. And I will see you on the next one and I will put the flyer up on Monday. Because I got a funny feeling we're going to discuss something really odd next week. It's going to be one of those weird, like, mystical ones. I feel it in my bones. So anyway, without further ado, here you go. This is A Wonderful Life. This one will be part of Nameless.
Shut my eyes to life, it always seems to haunt my mind, struggling with these broken words, suffer like the little child. It's a wondrous life, if only I could ever see, if all the ones I know
And with that, I say goodnight.
I'm part of it. Can't you see it?